All right, welcome back. It's Shalonda, and yeah, so I don't know. I'm on my way to bring that errand real quick, but I wanted to say, like, just, because this whole shit is just really, 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 really strange, right? So, again, I'm looking at the whole thing when it comes to the world card, right? The Father, Son, Holy Spirit kind of energy. It just always make me think about how it always seems like the Godhead is missing from the earth, and it's just always trickster fucking energy, man. And I feel like whatever this is going on is it's true. It's real. It's true. But it also has to do with some type of I don't know, like outside discriminatory virtue. I don't know. It just has something to do with society wanting something one way other than another. This all ties in with the vid. For some reason, when they say something about like the bat and the DNA or whatever, or it's from an animal getting something from a bat, something like that, yeah. But we know that animal, that is referring to people as well. And then the vampire is a flying old energy. You know what I'm saying? Old world, old blood energy. I'm just seeing a lot of energy with like doppelganger, something here. Like I said, just seeing the fabrics of life or layers of livelihood that I feel like have been tampered with or compartmentalized when it comes to the way that I'm seeing them viewing the world. Having people in a certain unsure mindset or something like that can lead them to do, or fear of losing. And I can't, like, I'm in that energy right now where I told y'all, I don't try to hold on to nobody, and I don't really fear losing anyone. Of course, if you love someone or something, you don't want to lose it, but at the same time, I'm not the same like I used to be, right? So again, it's like setting up standards and things like that, because again, there is, what I'm saying, I feel like there's this energy of the wandness, and the masculines get to play with emotions. The masculines need to, they have a higher I was just talking about this the other day, how when boys are young, they get to roam. Nobody's really checking for them. They can ride their bikes across town or the country or whatever, and their parents really didn't check for them or check on them like that. But with girls, it's just like a lot different. So when I look at this thing with dealing with like this possible Anunnaki energy or this flying or fowl of the air energy, right, it's a hovering energy. It really is. I do think again that some instances it is dealing with bird or that energy of feeling like, I don't know, maybe it's a hybrid energy. Animals that are of flighty and then grounded. As above, so below. Even when it comes to air signs and fixed signs and, all this other stuff, and cross-watch your energy. I feel like, again, some of us over time, whatever testing has been done in and out of facilities has led to some of these discrepancies. You know what I'm saying? But, I just couldn't get out my mind today. Now, this is just a random rant, okay? I couldn't get out of my mind today how somebody was joking, how Biden was joking around saying Fauci was the president. And I was looking at the features of Fauci. And it made me look at the features of my stepmother. And it made me think about the features of my little sister, my half-sister. And then it made me think about the changes that I saw my dad go through. And how I was, how I'm looking at people, their features, my features. I'm just like, I'm just paying attention to things a little bit more right now. People's energy. I drew away from people a while back and started to want to be alone. And I think I had to do that in order because, If you like that star or that light, you know, it gets dim when you start sharing it around. You know, I remember talking about this whole thing about this Christ or Christ conscious or all this other stuff. And then I noticed, you know, it was a widespread thing, Christ consciousness or whatever. And it's true, because I do think when it comes to Queen of Wands, or, you know what I'm saying, Knight of Wands, or wand energy in general, that it is the multiply and fill the earth, you know, fruitful type of energy. Because a wand can get a motherfucker to do some things that they never would do. You know what I'm saying? And like in real life, in a 3D, that's never been a problem for me. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's because it's a problem for me in another realm. Maybe because we were talking about the Lion's Gate. Maybe it's a different way for me in that dimension. And maybe that's why, again, it's hard for me to really want to tap into that dimension, those higher dimensions, right? Because that's where all the hurt is. But it's almost like as if it's at the hands of, again, I wouldn't say a jealous God, but somebody that may have done the things that they've done. A God that might have done things that they've done to a goddess or God because of something that they got jealous of, that they found out. And just went overkill with the shit and turned it into like a profession. But I feel like I don't hold on to, because I don't know all the, I don't know all the details, but I also can't be so open. You know, I'm willing, all I can say today is that I'm willing to work on whatever it is. I want the details, and I'm willing to work on whatever it is. I ain't trying to trap nobody, ensnare anybody, fool nobody, make nobody think that this is one way and it's another way and all this other shit. It's none of that. It's just like, hey, I'm finding out what this possibly is now. I'm looking at the world with a whole new lens. And, you know, I want to know what this is. I want to actually physically and realistically see what we're talking about here, you know? I remember being up at night sometimes just asking, you know, God, I know that there's something, you know, or Father, right? Or husband, or whatever this would be, right? Asking these questions like, why don't you just let me see? Why you don't just let me see? Because I'm feeling like I'm realizing that it's just not balanced and it's not fair. It is the cake and eat it too. And I feel like at one point in time, this energy came back and it didn't want it to be that way. But then again, it left me in a situation where I have no choice but to think that things are what they are. You know, things are what they seem, or whatever you want to, however you want to say it. I'm looking at this little boy walking out the store with a truck. Too cute. He is too juiced. Okay, but anyways, I always wanted a boy. But anyways, let's see. But then, yeah, it used to be scary though, because they just get all over the place, boy. But my D baby, you know, she be off the chain too. She act like a little boy, I think, sometimes. Oh, it's closed. Okay, so I'm gonna have to wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna wait a minute. Okay. But anyways, like I said, whatever this is, I'm gonna just tell you one thing, what I'm gonna say right now, because I feel like there's more people listening than I think. Whatever this is, I am not willing to be, I'm not giving my power and authority over myself or my land or my funds or anything to nobody. I'm not signing none. I ain't signed nothing. I ain't done nothing. Whatever somebody's saying that I did or I had a part into, I ain't got nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just this. I feel like there's another feminine energy out there that is playing the role of my life. I feel like my life is going on and I'm not even being able to have access to it. I don't think that anybody really knows what that feels like. So for all these feminines out there that, you know, especially when it comes to high priestesses and readers and things like that, that would say, you know, I've heard some people kind of like throwing jabs or whatever, right? And I know these are some of the people that are watching on the screen, that they're really probably not intuitive. And then there's a lot of these girls that are very intuitive, period. It's more that are on the good side than there are on the bad, okay? It's just I'm able to pinpoint the ones that's on some bullshit, all right? The ones that just want my spot, okay? So again, they can sit there all day and say what they would do, how they able to operate, how they a boss and all this other shit and all this whatever. But you low-key watching the bitch all day. You know what I'm saying? And trying to figure out how you could fit into her lifestyle or with her man. Or, you know what I'm saying, with her partner or her consort. I'm going to start saying those things, right? I'm going to use consort and things of that nature. Right? Or but they're not realizing that you got the whole world on your shoulders, that you are the actual living God of this fucking world, in a sense. I can't allow nobody to think that I'm what I'm doing is saying that there is someone. It's just these people have more of an advantage point over me because of the blinding and binding and because of all of the powerful feminine energies that they've enlisted to work for them. You know, it's the same energy, like I was saying, at one point in time, going through all of this stuff this past 2 years. And I noticed that my daughters have been with me. You dig what I'm saying? We've been all in the same place, but my daughters have always been very fucking close to me. And all of a sudden, when this separation happened, it's almost like the male partner in this situation was able to kind of just lure them onto his side and have them barking and fighting against me all the time when I was the one going through some type of spiritual and tech attack. You see what I'm saying? I was the one going through this transformation and trying to find my way through it by myself with no guidance, no help, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it was sounding like I was like, why me, Marsha? But at the end of the day, it's not that at all. I'm just explaining it to y'all. You think you know what you're talking about and you don't know nothing. You see what I'm saying? The whole time I have energies probably across this fucking world that are trying to tap into my dome or tapping into my energy, asking me questions, wanting answers for things that run the fucking world. Do you understand what I'm saying? So until you on that level or you on that status, you'll never know what the fuck this feel like. See, because I feel like these masculine energies, when it came to the Gemini and everything in the beginning, I feel like with these masculine energies, they do have an advantage point, like I said. But at the same time, they know how powerful of a female that I am, right? And although some of them were trying to wake me up to that, some were trying to make me seem like I'm not that and they're above that and they're above me. But I feel like it's like this whole group of kings or whatever, and I just happen to be a king that looked like a queen on the outside, or an empress that looked like you know what I'm saying? So again, it still bring me back to the Adamite energy of those people that went into that energy of being both masculine and feminine, or having a choice or free will. But I think it's just with your character and with your the way you carry yourself or whatever. It you know what I'm saying? And I think like back in the 1800s and stuff like that, if you look back at some of the royals, you know, where it was, they would say some people were very flamboyant, or some of the men, you know, they wore heels. I mean, well, we've seen that, and, you know, in dresses and things like that. So again, it's just this kind of it's just this kind of energy, right? Like I said, it's excuse me, it's hard to, so I think that's why this whole thing about balance, not being too high up and too low down, not, you know what I'm saying, thinking too much of yourself and thinking too less. It's just been a balancing act. It's like a tightrope. And what I realize is maybe at some point in time, me taking the back seat, or me not being so straightforward, or me not being aggressive sometimes or whatever, allow for this energy to happen, for me to be the daughter of the village chief possibly, or the daughter of God, or the consort of God, or whatever this energy is, right? Because we're talking about energy which can be transferred into different vassals regardless, right? So whatever this was that happened, everybody around me knew when I met this person when I was 14 that we was going to spend our life together. They knew that we was made for each other. They knew. Everybody loved us. Everybody loved everything about it. We brought people together. It was, you know what I'm saying, like that. Okay. But it's like I said, at some point in time, I just thought back today, like, wait a minute. I noticed that things changed a lot every 10 years or whatever, or something like that. And so it's like when I was I had my first daughter when I was 19, and I think that's when a lot of things changed. That's when a lot of things changed with me and this individual. And we took like a year split or something somewhere between there to kind of find ourselves and do whatever we wanted to do or whatever it was. And I think it was very hurtful. I think I hurt him a lot. And it was just me trying to be fast or whatever fuck, or just feeling like, for a second though, no. And I'm thinking about this. For a second though, it was kind of like some kind of energy rushed in and said, this feels more like a brother to you. You know what I'm saying? This person, this is not really your mate or whatever. This feels more like a brother to you. Damn. So it's making me think about manifesting at a young age and saying certain shit. And what did it do? You see what I'm saying? How powerful, like, to know who you were. That's why this whole thing was Journey to Self. This whole thing about like finding out who we were in America, finding out all this stuff is something that nobody ever wanted us really to do. They wanted you still to be on low vibe and talking about race and all this other stuff like this. When it's never really been about that type of race. It's been about the race to the top, and it's been about, that higher self that's connected to that source, that all universal energy. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like a lot of people talk the talk, but they only had to worry about that with themselves. When some of us, again, have the weight of the world on our shoulders, we have all eyes on us. Now, I think that's growing now. I think it's growing. It's not centered on one thing because they think that they think that they have directed the energy and that they're building back better or whatever off of the basis of the two heads. Though I feel like the two heads is me in the masculine, and possibly another masculine. Like I said, the two wands. And I feel like what Source is telling me is like, okay, somebody's playing games at this point in time. You know how you really feel about this energy. The other energy feels like you don't like them, but I just actually love that person. You know what I'm saying? It's just in a different light. It ended up forming into something else. But what I feel my ancestors is telling me, and what the inner something is telling me, is that you're going to end up with one of those individuals. They're both trying to make you jealous right now. They may be upset because you are that empress. You are that one that's up on that pedestal, and you are supposed to have them both close to you. Maybe not for the same, what do you call it? Actions. You see what I say? I keep saying that. It's almost like it'd be a brotherly, I can't stand you, tit for tat. Well, it ain't really never tit for tat for me because I'm just always keeping it real. I'm just too damn real for that. I ain't got time for it. But I'm always the one that get played, it feel like. You see what I'm saying? Unless I'm standing in my full power and not doubting myself. And it's like, I feel like the strife might have started with them not being able to handle the fact that an empress would be in charge and that she would have just like, and I'm just saying, because women are more preserved. When you love somebody, when you want to only really be with that person. You don't want to, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be out there, whatever, if this person is giving you everything you need. But again, I feel like Source sent these individuals and somebody wasn't doing what they were supposed to do, and then he changed some shit around. And I feel like, that's just what the whole thing was. And they're also always making sure that I had a basis of being comfortable at home. And I think that's where the community of the witches came in and tried to make it feel like I need to vacate this place. And I think at some time I am supposed to, right? I was or am supposed to. But I was supposed to be able to build a firm financial something, because I feel like that's what the ancestors was telling me. The only thing that I'm missing, the spiritual essence, is where I want to be, right? So again, we're talking about the all-seeing eye. If I allow somebody to take me more towards the merchants and the merchants department in this caste or class, then I will be stuck there. I feel like somebody feels like I should have to do more work to get what's already mine. You see what I'm saying? Because maybe they did, or because somebody else did, or somebody else did. They're not realizing that I can sense that this whole luxurious lifestyle of mine is being given, or somebody else is benefiting off of it. And so what they're trying to do, it seems like either the feminine or masculine or both of them, are disconnect me from higher rankings within my own shit, so that they can be able to have advantage over me, my seed, whatever I produce, whatever I reproduce, my information, my ideas, my thoughts, whatever it is. And I'm not having it. In that case, I have to reclaim my masculine energy as a god, the god. And so again, the living particular God that's on this earth right now, again, because that energy is going to be connected to the energy of wisdom, which is the body, the feminine body, or the essence that's going to be housing. It's that temple that's housing that department for God. So the best thing these people can do is keep me in fear, keep me restricted, keep nooses around my channels and platform and things like that. And I think that, again, I think that the ancestors or somebody is coming here and clearing the shit up. So I'm feeling like, okay, now I can get to work because now I can feel those constraints coming off of my things. But I think it's because of Fauci and everybody else and Biden and them trying to make it sit, because I'm telling you, this feminine energy has more power than these masculines right now, periods. I don't give a fuck what you say, except for probably her consort. All right. But when it comes to these other so-called world leaders and stuff like that, it just is what it is. So to keep me in a box is the only way to, continue to be in their rulership from their, in their particular positions of power and status. And don't get it twisted. These bloodlines are close to my bloodlines on either side. Don't get it twisted. The Washingtons, I feel like Biden, I feel like all of them, they think I'm stupid, and that's not the case. So because they know these things, and because the places where they're able to sit in society, they're able to make sure that I stay confused and out of the circle or away from the table. Okay, again, and they want to build back better with this other bitch, and I'm just like to the point where it's just like, man, how many times I gotta keep saying it over and over again? I know who I am, right? Why? I don't understand why is such the attempt to keep me away. And I feel like even if somebody is talking about leaving or separating or whatever like that, or if they've already snuck and done that behind my back, I feel like, again, I'm going to have to go ahead and challenge that because I never agreed to any of it. I never gave anyone any reason. The attacks have been coming in on me. I haven't really thought to even have the power or authority over these people, except for saying that some of these motherfuckers need to lead a garden. You see what I'm saying? I don't know why I just heard who gonna run this town tonight. But I think more because of all this way that these things have been operating over time have been quiet. But this time it's like this I'm coming out energy, like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not mammifying motherfuckers no more. We're not doing all that stuff. We're going to talk about who the true essence and what the true essence is so that we can go ahead and grow, that we can do better, so that we can learn. We can actually learn something from each other, more from each other in these current circumstances than we can from science. Science is what somebody say it is. If the shit don't fit the narrative, they're not going to let you, I'm just saying, they're not going to let you or allow you to change it. So again, you could be all the scientists you want to be, but if the people that work for these departments or these companies that you're giving the information, if you don't alter it to make it more comfortable for them or to fit their narrative, it's not being published. I don't give a fuck if it's the truth or not. So that's the difference between trusting science. Well, and just because you told me these are the top scientists in the world and this is the top, that don't mean nothing. That could be for you because they end up giving you the right, solution every time. That works but don't work. Kind of like prescriptions that's meant to heal you, but they harm you, or, they just keep you sick for a longer time. It goes back to pharmaceutical, like all this stuff is tied in. It really is. And I feel like it's a new day. It may be a little under wraps or whatever right now, but I don't like the whole control thing. I don't like that. I don't like people being restricted. I don't like people being controlled. You know what I'm saying? It's either we got free will or we don't. But I feel like if God don't know who she is, or God don't know who he is right now, or if this God is fighting against that God, or just like it'll say Satan fighting against Satan, you know what I'm saying? Then what do we have here? What do we have here? Imagine that. Working hard, struggling, trying to scrape up whatever you can to start a small business or something like that, when the whole time you really are very wealthy and abundant inside and out. Financially, mentally, physically, emotionally. But people want to keep you under wraps or keep you constrained or make it seem like you're a dis-ease to society because they want to continue to be able to suck off of it and use you as a fucking lab rat. That's the energy here. Okay? I mean, let's just deliberate just a little bit here. So, you know, a lot of these females, they think that they, just because they're peering in on my life, or they don't see the weight or the heaviness of all these other things. They don't know everything that's going on inside of me. They don't know that this lackluster or whatever this other energy is, they don't know that it's coming from, again, like I said, the weight of the world. Being that one that came before, like I said, the Meta Netter, or just any of these guys, the strongest. I mean, like this energy right here, like I said, I have to be fully embodying. It's very fucking tiring. You know what I'm saying? I think for like 3 years or whatever, you know, they said I had a sleep disorder, but I was asleep. I must have been like in a cocoon or something state. And again, it feels good. Like I'm not mad at nobody coming out of it. I just want answers. Anybody would. When it seemed like the whole world is scheming behind your back. And anybody that is supportive has been hidden from you or taken. Like it doesn't even hurt anymore then. You can't even get jealous anymore then. You know what I'm saying? It can't even, you know, like it's just all this kind of shit right here. It's like, you see? It's kind of like devastating. So either you just never loved me or you never whatever, you just were using me the whole time, and I can't allow for that. So it's just going to have to be something that's going to be talked about. It's going to be something that's going to have to be fit. Like I don't want nobody else building any more illusions or trying to draw me, you know, thou shalt not tempt the Lord, right? So I don't want nobody else trying to draw me into anything where they're going to end up having some kind of possession over me or some kind of control over me, because it's not happening. There's nobody on this earth that have no power or authority over me. But me and the ancestors. And me, I'm saying in that energy of source. My most high self that's connected to source, so I can do all things through that energy. But I have to, like I said, you have to be aware. Like, man, like this shit been all the way whole one-sided. So again, I'm just thinking, like, since I'm sensing that I'm feeling that I've been missing out on this person, right? He's here, but it just seemed like that's not really all the way him, right? It's a copy. Something they feel like they built back better in a more non-feeling, narcissistic kind of way. Not mean or ugly or anything like that, but just, they just can't feel. So it made me more not be able to feel. It made me restrict those emotions, where I feel like the emotions are coming in from his higher self, or that higher person, or that old person, or whatever that would be. Wherever his spirit or soul would be into whatever vessel or body. Because it's almost like, again, I don't know. I don't know why I'm hearing something about like the fountain of youth. Why some of us, you know what I'm saying, some of us in age differently, or don't age, you know, we age kind of slow or whatever. Because we're a different type of group. It's just like, again, like I said, out of all these kings or whatever, there is one that maybe looks, that on the outwardly looks like a female, right? So again, if you want to call it brothers or whatever, there's lots of mythical stories about these brothers and this sister or whatever, and how they wanted to control who she married and everything like this. But again, that's because she didn't know who she was. So because I know who I am, and I'm not afraid to, I think this is what draws this masculine God or whatever towards me. But then again, you know what I'm saying, with another one, it's what pisses him off. It makes it seem like I am rejecting him, or I don't like him, or something like that, and it's not true. They've all taught me lessons in life and about my damn self. So anyway, like I said, I'm just moving forward right now. Like I'm not like I'm not going to beg, and I mean the offer is there. I'm there. I'm open to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, hey, just be bear with me, because again, I have gone through this and I really haven't been all the way in tune and in touch, and I don't think it's all my fault. But I never gave up. And also, I'm not giving up on that energy, and there's not going to be a better me. It's just not. It's just I need that person. I would like to have that person, I will say, to be there, to build with, to help navigate, to steer, to whatever. Whatever they need me to do. Whatever makes him happy. What makes me happy, you know? I've always been somebody willing to put in the work if somebody give me the sense of direction. I like people that are very direct. I don't like to play games. I don't like guessing games. I don't like surprises. I don't like none of that shit. Don't surprise me. If you want to give me something, ask me what it is, I'll let you know. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess I used to be. Now I'm getting a little bit softer. So, and trying to give up a sense of like control. You know what I'm saying? So, not controlling things that I need to be controlling, but of control when it comes to like every aspect of everything. If I can trust somebody that's with me, I will, yes, give them over. You know, I'm not some type of person that like need to know what, and maybe I should be. You know, my mama would probably tell me I should be, knowing exactly where everything is, from like your phone or your emails or your bank accounts. You know, like I never really had the need to do any of that. But I'm saying maybe that was a mistake on my end. Maybe it has something more to do with the 3D realm than I think. You know, and then that left me in a point where, again, now another bitch is living off of my wealth and my abundance with my man, controlling the narrative of what's going on with me, and got him all wrapped up with the knave viperous tongue and fangs, you know, and it's harming me. Because of the jealousy of these females, it just makes them want to do, instead of running things or doing what they're supposed to do with him, they worry about what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And how they can try to make me feel bad, or make me jealous, or make me, feel like they got him, or whatever it is. And it makes me upset because, like, you might have the vassal, right? But somebody might be trying to wiggle their way out. But the contract, that soul contract, I think is ever so binding. I don't think that it can go anywhere. Unless I allow somebody to let me forget who the hell I am. It's almost like even, my daddy, even if there's like a Godhead energy or whatever somewhere else, it's like got more closer to this individual and believe the rumors and lies that these feminines and these masculines have been spreading about me to make them change the support or whatever it would be behind me. Giving an inaccurate report at the end of the day because of the severing. It feels like there's a severing between a father and daughter to a certain extent because of disappointment. But it's really just lies. But he knows my heart. But I'm just saying, if we're talking about a real God kind of energy, he ain't got time to be worried about every damn thing what I'm doing, throughout the day or whatever. So I can understand that. Needing, like having angels. That's what angels are, soldiers or messengers. But when it comes to a point where can they lie? Can they mislead? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. So again, for this energy here, I feel like it just has something to do with, again, a lot of masculines and their feelings about energy that's transferable. Rather, this is a relationship between a daughter and her. We're talking about lineage, and we're talking about gods being with their daughters or whatever it will be. I don't know exactly how I'm saying this, but obviously there's this kind of energy that has been going on throughout the test of time. Even if we go back and play that game with the story of Adam and Eve, and then who had babies, did he have babies with his own mother, whatever, because I feel like back then it wasn't about that. If we all stem from one thing, then what are we saying? Now the shit'll be obscene today, right? Because I felt like it's, again, when it comes to some of these God energies, it could seem obscene today because I felt like at one point in time, me turning the age that I am, and then now having daughters, it's almost like it made me think about where the incest and where the molestation and stuff come into. You know what I'm saying? And when is it different when we're talking about different types of beings? For me, on this realm, it's never really okay to me. But it's more so I was seeing a transfer, like the energies, that he was not physically being closer to the girls, like wanting to be with them like that, but something about their energy linking up, leaving me in the dust. That made me question what's really going on here. So your bodies may not be becoming one, but there seems to be some form of connection and moving on down to the younger version of me. And clinging on, that's why I'm using consort instead of wife or something in some of these instances. Because it seemed like there is this choice. And even if it's not my daughters, then they can move, the masculine can possibly move on to another feminine energy within the family, period. Okay? I mean, let's face it. We know royals, is this a little bit different? It's more about the lineage and the bloodline. Second, third cousins for some cultures and stuff like that. But this time, right now, I'm setting myself free. I'm severing any cords that want to try to tie some vines or bind me so that they can use me and have me as something that doesn't exist or doesn't matter. I'm not doing that this time. I'm taking back my full power. And if somebody wants to stand in front of me, beside me, with me, along, whatever it is, that is what I want. I'm not lesser than any of these people. I don't care if they celebrities, politicians, or anything. If anything, some of us are over them. They work for us. And I feel like one of these masculine energies don't like me in that energy, but just to clarify things, oh yeah, you got me. You see what I'm saying? But I still have free will. I'm not going under anybody's thumb. And I'm in my rightful, clear mind where I can make decisions for myself. I don't need no conservatorship. Ain't no other bitch over me. None of that. No other female, girl, woman, god, goddess, emperor, empress, whatever. Queen, none of that.